Okay, let's see. Yes. So welcome everyone to this session on cultivating joy for food systems transformation. This session is organized by the Conscious Food Systems Alliance for this very special day because today is the UN International Day of Happiness. I am Noemi, the community manager of COPSA. And it's a nice coincidence because my name has Hebrew origin and means joy. So I'm very grateful to really be able to facilitate this event today. And together we will explore through Mahia that you can see in the picture, how joy can support transformation of our food systems through simple practices such as cooking, catering, but also we will practice together with Liliana De Leo, laughter yoga. So we can really see and touch with our hands how it's important to, uplift energy among ourselves, but also, people that work in the food system space. So, as you know, the Conscious Food Systems Alliance is an initiative convened by UNDP, the United Nations Development Programme, and we really look at the inner dimension of food systems transformation. So that's why this session came. And we really want to promote a focus on the inner capacities, so those qualities, mindset, values, beliefs, but also those transformative qualities like compassion, self-awareness, resilience, joy, love, that are essential for really making our food systems more healthy, respectful, and fair, not only for people, but for animals and nature as well. So before going into the detail, I really want to invite you to take one or two deep breaths and come back to our body, and really invite the quality of joy to manifest within us. And as you're breathing, just reflect on what brings you joy in your life. And how do you connect with joy usually? And maybe you can just write in the chat what is, something that really brings joy into your life and that you're used to connect with. So for example, for me, singing. So anytime I'm sad and I want to recharge my energy, I do sing. So I see painting, very nice. Sitting by a lake and listen to the birds. Laughter, yoga, and dance. Friendship, connecting to spirit. Walk the dog. Connecting with others, nature, and myself. The plants. Playing music, flowers, swimming in the sea. Being in nature with my daughters. Oh, so lovely. Thank you, everyone, for sharing. And maybe just introduce our speaker to say thank you to them and greet. So we have Mahia Zoe Matthew from UK, but currently in Italy. She's the community manager of the spiritual community of Ananda Assisi and author of the much loved best-selling book, A Taste of Joy, which is about bringing joy into cooking and eating. And then we have Liliana De Leo, that since 2010 is the founder and president of the Living Laughter Academy. And she really helped people use laughter as a form of exercise to decrease stress and improve health and optimize resilience. So I hope you enjoy this session, and I hand over to Charlotte. So she can also share about her experience with the SDG of love and joy, but I don't want to spoil her too much.
Thank you so much, Noemi. So some of you already know me. I work with Noemi in the Conscious Food Systems Alliance Secretariat. And to give a little bit of a framing to this session on this International Day of Happiness, I wanted to introduce you to an SDG, which is not written really, not official, not necessarily well known, but probably the most important of all. And it's an SDG some of us like to call SDG 0, which is about love and joy. And the little story of its origin is that in 2015, a friend of mine, David Nabarro, some of you might know him, was working with the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon on coordinating the implementation of the SDGs of Agenda 2030. And I'd asked him how his new job was. And he told me quite casually, oh, it's very fascinating because the SDGs are really transformative. And Charlotte, there's an unwritten 18th SDG which infuses all the others. And it's about love and joy. And that moment was really a thunderbolt moment for me because I realized, oh my gosh, that's so true. Why is it that we work so hard for improving access to food or water or health? And isn't it because we love people? We love our community? Why is it that we want to preserve the environment? Isn't it because we love it? Isn't it because it gives us joy when we see people or nature being more healthy? And I realized that this SDG is really the activator of all the other SDGs, because when you do something with love and joy, you have so much energy, you could move mountains. But it's also the ultimate goal. Why is it that we want to be more healthy and have better access to safety or all that we need? Maybe it's just to be happy. Most of us just want to be happy. And if we take things a little bit deeper, though, it's really an invitation to go see what counts. In my work in food, it's been almost 25 years now. Most of the time, I was working in some of the countries facing the worst food situation in the world. I was working in Afghanistan, in Somalia. I visited many Sahel countries. So I've always been in touch in a way, some of the worst human suffering and also conflict. I've seen things built to then be destroyed and then rebuilt again. But even in those hardest moments, in these very dire situations, I saw the power of the human spirit and the fact that even then, there are things that bring us joy. It can be the friendships, the relationships. It can be seeing little steps when everything seems hopeless. So I realized, wow, this SDG is also an invitation to look at the deeper meaning of our action. It's the way of being aware and caring for the process, not just what we do, but how we do it, to do it with love, to do it with joy. And something I was also learning in 2015 that corresponded to the time when I discovered this amazing community called Ananda. So Mahia will tell us more about it. But in there, I learned that joy is not something that comes to you when everything fits perfectly in the outside circumstances of your life. You don't wait to have the perfect job, the perfect partner, the best of friends, the most beautiful environment around you to be joyful. It's actually something you can cultivate consciously within. And the more you can cultivate it and make it independent of outward circumstances, the stronger you can be. And for me, cultivating joy is therefore really an essential part of working on food systems because it gives us energy and we have so much to do. We need a lot of that energy. So I'm super, super happy that we have this session today on this very important topic, on this very important day of International Day of Happiness. And I can't think of a better people than Mahia and Liliana to share with us how we can cultivate joy in our lives and through food. So with that, Mahia, over to you for a taste of joy.
Okay. Thank you, Charlotte. It's wonderful to see you. So I was thinking that it's wonderful, of course, to be here with all of you on this International Day of Happiness. But how much better it would be if every day was a day of happiness. So
it's interesting because I get to practice this a lot because as Noemi, same as Noemi's name means joy, my name Mahia is Sanskrit. It's not actually my birth name. It's a name given to me, a spiritual name, and in Sanskrit it means joyful happiness. So this was like a double, a double wham of message to me. So not just about joy, but joyful happiness. So I get to practice that a lot. Hang on, I'm just 1 second. I'm just trying to change. I'm looking at myself on the screen. It's making me really nervous. So I'm just gonna hide myself and see. I'm not so used to being, okay, the speaker on Zoom. Okay, now I can see all of you. That's better. Okay. So topic, joy in food. Well, this is a topic I know a lot about. Let's say Ananda is where I live. It's a spiritual community in Assisi, but the actual movement of Ananda is a worldwide movement. Started in America. And so it's a movement of communities, but also beyond that, it's a practice of meditation and yoga in daily life. And I've been living here for 24 years now. And the word Ananda is also Sanskrit and it means joy. So it's a big theme. Joy is in everything that we do at Ananda. It's really just the heart of our lives. And in fact, our slogan, our catchphrase or slogan at Ananda is joy is within you. So everything that Charlotte was just saying is part of my everyday life. And I've been living like this for 24 years and just learning day by day how to really understand that deeper and bring that into my life. At the center of our lives is actually the practice of meditation. So we do that every morning and every evening where, as Charlotte was saying, it's, joy is something that exists within us. We don't have to wait until the outer circumstances give it to us, which is usually what we're always trying to do, right? When I get that, I'll be happy. If only I could, realize that dream or have that perfect relationship. And it's always a projection of something which, is not that it's never coming. I mean, there are moments where we do, of course, feel that joy and happiness, but it's just it's a passing moment if it's based on something that we're looking for outside. So at Ananda, we do the practice of going inside and finding that joy is actually inside of us in our very essence. And we do that through meditation, but you can do it in many, many different ways. But of course, the nature of joy is then to express itself. So it's not enough to just go in and find it within us. And how lovely, what a lovely meditation I had. Oh, that was so joyful, so nice. Joy wants to express itself outwardly in the world to others by sharing. And so you find at Ananda, there's a lot of this feeling of joy just around, it's just part of our life. And people come here. There was a girl who's here now. She's doing like a service exchange program. And I love, she just was telling me the other day that the first day she came here, she was like looking around, very suspicious. And she wrote a text to her sister and she said, everyone's really weird here. They're always smiling and like they're singing all the time. That was day one. Day two, she writes to her sister and says, they're kind of weird. They're always smiling, but they're kind of nice as well. And then day three, she writes a text to her sister and says, I really like it here. I don't ever want to leave. And she didn't leave yet. She's been here for 2 months and she just told me that she wants to stay. But that's how it is, everything that we feel inside, then we have to express it outwardly. And so coming to the topic of cooking, the first 15 years that I was living here, I was in the kitchen. Like that's just the first place you go when you come into any community. Like where's the biggest need? In the kitchen, because we've got to feed everyone. So I'm in the kitchen. I have no idea how to cook, but I'm just helping. And then gradually I learn how to cook and I get better. And then I wrote, of course, it's Noemi and Charlotte was saying a book called The Taste of Joy. Yeah, that's the Italian version. I have the English version somewhere, but I actually wrote 2 books. The other one's also in Italian, and it's called Frullati di Gioia. You've got it too. Thank you, Charlotte. You're my publicity. It's not in English, and it means blended up with joy. So you see that joy is a real theme. And so I'm in the kitchen, and what happens is people, the guests that are coming, because we've got a guest retreat here, which has, thousands of people coming every year. So I was cooking for between 20 and 200 people on a daily basis. So anywhere from 20 to 200. And people would come in, guests would come in the kitchen, they'd say, "Oh, I love the cooking here. Can I have the recipe?" And say like, "Yeah, okay, sure, and then it would happen all the time that people would come in and ask for the recipe. And I started to get very suspicious and also a bit perplexed, because they'd come and ask when we were just like, I would cook mashed potatoes and chard or something like so simple, and they'd come and ask me for the recipe of mashed potatoes. And I'd also, if I cooked roast squash, they'd come and ask me for the recipe of roast squash. And I'd be thinking, what did I do? I mean, I just cut the vegetable and put it in the oven. Everyone knows how to make mashed potatoes. Why are they asking me for the recipe? So with not just me, but all of the cooks. And then I finally worked it out. Everything that we were cooking tasted good. And it wasn't about it. Yeah, okay, I became a good cook and people were good cooks, but it wasn't about the taste of the food physically. They were tasting something else. And that's why I called my book A Taste of Joy, because what they were tasting is something deeper than that, was the actual vibration of joy or love or peace, happiness, whatever it was what mood we were in was ending up in the food. I mean, there was this time when we were laughing and laughing in the kitchen. We had a great team and a lot of fun, and just so much fun, that shift in the kitchen. And then that afternoon, like after lunch, people were coming up to us and saying, "What did you do with the food today? Like, I just felt so joyful and happy. I was just started laughing for no reason." And it's interesting because we think of so much of nutrition and food and the physical aspects, of alkalinity and balancing the food groups and things like that. But actually, the deeper aspect is that whenever we cook, the actual vibration that we have within us, our consciousness, our mood, our feelings, end up being infused in the food itself. And I've seen it and experienced it so many times that I just know that that's a reality. In fact, one of the first things I learned very soon was, don't cook. If you're not in a good mood, don't cook. You've got to change your energy or don't cook. There's a story of a lady who was making bread. And she said, "Yeah, every time I make bread, when I'm kneading that dough, I put all my anger and all my frustration into that bread dough." Not a good idea, because people are gonna eat that. So Swami Kriyananda, the founder of the Ananda community, said a really big statement. It's quite shocking, actually. He said that the most direct way to influence the consciousness of another person is by cooking. Isn't that amazing? Like, we know that we can affect people indirectly, all the time, but the most direct way is through food. Wow, that means it's a really big responsibility, when you cook. And so, that's makes me think as well of, I don't know if it's true for all of you, but in general, mum's cooking, or actually what I hear most of all here is nonna's cooking, like mia nonna, my grandma, she just cooked the best. And it's not always because mom knows how to cook. My mom had absolutely no idea how to cook. She's a very bad cook. And I don't blame her for it, because her mom never taught her how to cook. But I really just love it when my mom cooks. She makes the effort. She cooks for me. She actually learned to cook from my cookbook. And I really just appreciate the energy and the effort, because it's the love that's in it that one can feel. And so going back to the kitchen, what do we, you know, at Ananda, what do we do in our kitchen apart from also working on our own consciousness and our own joy, which we get through before we start, we meditate, we connect with that joy within us. We come into the kitchen and we start with, for us, it's a prayer, but it doesn't have to be a prayer, you know, a classical prayer, but a moment of just closing your eyes and connecting inwards. It's really important, whether you're at home or whether you're in some kind of service where you're cooking for others, just close your eyes and connect with that, you know, that essence of joy within, which everybody has. And you all said how you feel joy when you paint, when you dance, when you're sitting at the lake, looking at the water. These are moments of deep connection with the essence of joy in you, connecting with the essence of joy actually in each one of those things, in nature and people. It's a deep connection. So it's really important when we cook to make it conscious and to cook from that point, you know, where we're connected. You can, you know, just take a moment of gratitude and connection, light a candle if you like. And we always put music on in the background, like something uplifting. Like, one of the worst things you can do when you're cooking is to put the radio or television on in the background. You know, it's not okay, it's not too bad, but it's much better to put just some really uplifting, inspirational classical music or whatever inspires you. That is going to help you to keep your consciousness high when you cook, and that's going to end up in the food, and people are going to feel that. And then, you know, what about when we're actually eating food is again equally important. You know, there's moments of the day when we're actually much more receptive to the vibrations around us. And I'll just make a parenthesis here, because I'm also talking, presuming maybe on something which isn't so clear or accepted to all of you, is that all around us, there's everything around us in this world has, beneath the physical aspect, has an energetical aspect, you know, an essence within it. We call it a vibration here. And there's a continuous exchange of this vibration between us and the world around us. So we're continuously influencing everything that we touch and we come in contact with, whether it's a person, a place, you know, anything. But we're continuously being influenced by the world around us too. You know, I don't know if you've ever been into a place and you've immediately had like an eerie feeling, like, I don't like the feeling here. I got to get out. You know, that's the negative aspect. You can really, it's nothing about it apart from the feeling, the vibration that's left there. And in the same way, you know, you've maybe been in the presence of a person or in a place where you feel like, I don't know what it is, but there's something about this. I feel kind of good. I feel peaceful, you know, and that is happening on a very subtle level the whole time. So food is one of the ways that we're absorbing vibrations. And actually, there's some people, you know, I'm talking about, you know, maybe not our category, but as normal people, but there's some, you know, holy people, saints, masters, whatever you want to call them, in India, which is kind of the context where I'm connected with, who won't eat food if it's been cooked, unless it's been cooked with someone who they know and trust, that's got really high consciousness. So when we eat, there's two moments of the day where we're in very receptive modes. One's when we sleep, we're highly receptive. And one is when we eat, interestingly, we're highly receptive. So it's very important that when we eat, we're very conscious of what we're eating and consciously trying to absorb the best that we can out of that food. So again, you know, you can turn off the radio, turn off the television, put some uplifting music. If you can, you know, it's nice to make sure the environment around you is clean and there's, you know, light and nice images and nice company around you. You can't always control it, but it's good to know You know, it's good to be conscious of these things. And the most important thing is just, again, a moment of gratitude before you eat. A prayer, a blessing. And I know Charlotte and Noemi were saying that the last time you met, you had somebody on who was making you do this exercise of sending energy into the 3 different glasses of water, I think it was. And water, as we probably all know, is like highly receptive to energy. And so you can, you know, in food as well, it's highly receptive to the energy you send. So even if everything before has gone really bad at the last moment, you know, you can change all of that by just sending light and sending gratitude, and consciously then asking to absorb that into your body on all levels, physically nutrition, you know, and energetically energy, you know, life force. And spiritually, higher consciousness. Food affects our consciousness. Anyway, that's a whole different topic, but not different, but it's a whole topic, let's say. And in the book, A Taste of Joy, for who's interested, it's not just a recipe book. Half of it is recipes from the Ananda Retreat Center in Italy. And the other half is all of the teachings on diet that I learned through my experience on this path and in the kitchen from my teacher, Paramahansa Yogananda. And he taught a lot about the importance of physically, of food, of nutrition, but also vibrationally. So the book actually talks about all of these subtle aspects of food, about how to absorb life force into the body and the importance of the vibration when we cook, etc. So that's food. And then that was 15 years of my life, actually. So it was a long, long time. But then after that, my next role, my current role at Ananda is I'm community manager. But I like to think of that, it's not like manager in the normal aspect, but like I call it community lifestyle manager. So anything connected with the way we live, with people, with how we're doing what we do and how we're doing and the connections within the community. And one of the biggest projects we have is actually the agricultural project at the moment, farming. So I'm not actually down, you know, most of the time growing the vegetables myself, but I'm very connected in that area. It's like, it's the heart of the community. It's interesting how agriculture and community through history have always been so connected. And so the agricultural project at Ananda has attracted just people. We have people there who are serving, growing vegetables, and we have people coming for maybe 2 weeks experience or 1 month experience or 6 months experience, just learning what it's like to live in a spiritual community and learning about how we apply these principles of joy is within you to our everyday life. So it's exactly the same principles I've seen in farming. I mean, our vegetables, I have to say, they really respond to the way in which we farm. Of course, hang on, let me just explain that. Of course, we do organic and sustainable farming. I mean, I imagine that everybody here is into that, you know, you're all part of those systems. But before we start our day here, again at the farm, there's a circle with a prayer and an inspiration. And then when we go into the garden and we connect with those plants, it's like, as I was saying before, that inner essence in me that I've connected with through my meditation or that moment of centering is now connecting with everything around me. It's connecting with the essence of the plants, the essence of the animals. And through that connection, it's also giving me intuitive guidance. So I can then feel like, okay, this plant needs this plant needs something, like there's something not working here. How can I work with it? There's a continuous exchange between the nature in the gardens and us. And the garden is giving us so much. And we're giving the garden the best we can, our love and our joy. And I tell you, those plants are amazing. We're so lucky to be able to eat all of, you know, we basically self-sufficient have a community kitchen, and we eat the food that we grow, whether it's grains, vegetables, legumes. And we've been to other farms in the area, not to, or to organic farms, and not to say anything bad about what other people are doing, because people are doing amazing and great things. But we noticed that our vegetables are bigger. They're bigger, they're more vibrant, just noticeably so. So you have to ask yourself, like, what's going on here? And I mean, we are 800 meters altitude. We have really like tough weather conditions, and we have a soil that is clay. Like, even after 8 years, or I can't even remember how many years it is that we're doing this, like trying to regenerate, the soil and put really good things on it. The soil is still basically clay, and it's really, really hard to work with. But despite that, our vegetables just feel that love and joy that we're transmitting to them all the time. And it's just two people come to mind. As I said, it's really like this integration between farming and nature, and attracting this feeling of family and connection as well. So a lot of people come down to our farm, it's called Terre di Luce, which means lands of light, actually. And so there was one of the guys who works in the kitchen, his father, a very elderly man, he was visiting his son like regularly. He was coming, for weeks at a time from Rome. He's not around anymore, but he's 90 years old, and in his 90s. And so his son, he didn't explain anything to him, like, what we're doing at Ananda. We're meditating, and we're following a line of spiritual masters and teachings from India. Nothing, because what can you explain, to a man who's grown up Catholic and living, in Italy? Didn't explain anything. But his father would come every day and do the circle with us, and he'd sing along with us. Every day we sing a lot at Ananda. As I said in that story at the beginning about the girl saying, like, they're singing all the time. So he's like joining in our circles and singing, and he has absolutely no idea what we're doing. And he just is loving it. And he said, he actually died 2 weeks after he said this, but he said one day to his son, and his son said then to us, he said, this place is a paradise. So I never want to leave. Here I feel that like everyone is truly friends and truly practicing brotherhood. He didn't know anything, what we were doing outwardly. He felt it. And I think that is the way that we're going to transform the world. Creating systems, of course we need to do that, and we are doing it, drop by drop into the ocean. We're changing it also through organic farming and healthy food and all of this. But if we don't work from the inside out, those changes will have limited effect. So the way that we're really always going to change everything around us, whether we're talking about food or anything, every time you come in contact with a person, what's really happening is this vibrational exchange, and what people are feeling is what's flowing through you. The joy, the love, coming back to what Charlotte said, this SDG of love and joy. And so first of all, we need to live that ourselves. And then everything else will happen from there. Then we'll transform all the world around us. So I think that's all I would have to say.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for sharing your experience. And actually, yes, we have 10 minutes now in breakout room for participants also to reflect on what you shared so far on your story, and tell what resonates with them, their own. So what's your relationship with joy? And in particular, how do you cultivate joy in your life, and how do you practice joy while cooking, if you practice joy and and if you have a plan, to practice joy. while you cook. So we will have just, yes, 10 minutes of breakout rooms. I put the questions in the chat to help you reflect on. You can stick to them or just, you know, go freestyle. And thank you, Alice, for organizing the breakout rooms. Yes, we need to cook together. Yes, please join your breakout rooms. They are already open, so you should see them on your screen. Back. I see lots of smiles, so nice to see. Maybe we can open up a bit the space for sharing, yes, your feedback, some highlights of the conversation. So feel free to step in and just share, yeah, how was the conversation and any reflections you might have.
Okay. Can I start?
Sure.
Okay. So we're in room 7. So I'm Bonnie Stephens. I'm from Cote d'Ivoire. So I was with my sister from Benin. So we're only 2 in this room. So we had our discussions, our meetings in French. It was only in French. So what we talk about, you know, we just talk about like some activities that we implement in rural areas in the community within local NGO. And what we brought to the population, the community was very interesting. So most of the community was very engaged and they were happy because usually they do not receive some local NGO working closely to a community. So when we see people came to them and like engage with them in their own situation, they understand their situations and they bring some projects. So they are most happy, you know, to be engaged in those projects. So this is what we talk in generally in our group. And we also think how we can find some mechanisms to have some resources, because this is something that is very important for us usually, because when we don't have like resources, it's quite difficult to bring some kind of joy project in the community, you know. So this is something that we have to think a lot. What kind of mechanisms we can both and then to help the communities within the local NGO, because local NGO are resources limited, so it's not really easy. So I mean, organizations should also think about that, how local NGO Africa can apply for projects and to bring like joy to the community a little bit, because they still have some problems, some situations that are not really good statistically in food security and nutrition. So having some good projects to a community will help them also to be engaged, also to be really joyful during the implementation of a project. So in general, this is what we talk within our group.
Thank you, Daji, for sharing this. And anyone else has other highlight? Let's see.
Can I go next?
Sure.
Yes, I just wanted to briefly share my gratefulness with you. Because I had a wonderful conversation in this room with Verlin Neuberger. I think the content is maybe too private to talk about. But it was a great conversation, and it brings me to a great joy within this network, because it was by coincidence we met, and there are always wonderful, great and beautiful people. And this is just what I wanted to share with you. I'm very grateful at the moment, and thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Noemi, I'd love to step in there for a minute, if I may.
Sure.
had a wonderful chat with Max and other members of the old old Hall community in East Anglia in England. We had great fun sharing. And I just wanted to bring some of my joy into this room. I love listening to Mahia. I loved everything that you said. It's so true. I've been a vegan chef. I also worked in an intentional community at the Zen Center, Green Gulch Farm in San Francisco for many years. And we were very much about the Zen of cooking. And so, there's a whole aesthetic around how you prepare yourself and the food. And we used to have, we never advertised, but we used to have visitors every Sunday morning. We used to make these buns and these cookie buns. And we used to have tea and buns after meditation. And it's like people came from miles around just to kind of be in the sharing of this community thing. And I know exactly what you mean is when food is made with love, then that love transmutes. I mean, it translates and people get it. And I know for myself, I was a vegan chef for a long time, sort of a high-end vegan chef. And I found that when I was cooking like that with no radios on, no people banging the doors or anything, but you just really get into that frame, people notice that there's something very different, a quality, and just being able to kind of develop that quality. And I feel that in our work as well, not just the eating of the food, but the actual, like how conscious are we when we go into the garden and we walk in the garden, or we pick that lettuce, or we look at that herb, we talk to that plant. I'm a great talker to plants now. And just how we express ourselves with those plants. And when we take them out of the land or plant them in, I think this could change our entire society if we brought conscientiousness and consciousness and joy to the work. And that's why I'm absolutely full of gratitude to you guys for actually this incredible platform. And I'm looking forward to seeing you on the retreat in a few weeks.
Thank you, Sarah, for sharing this. And I see Charlotte raise.
Yeah, sorry, and I'll be very quick because I know we want to go enjoy more joy with Liliana. But I think I was with Jeanne Elvira and Lou in our room, and something super important came up: is how do you keep joy when life bangs at you with challenges? And I loved Jeanne Elvira, said, well, she just takes it as an opportunity to up her game and stay joyful despite the challenge. And I just love that insight. I'm super grateful for that wisdom, because I thought, wow, look at us in Kofsa. Why are we together? Because, food systems are in complete disarray, which is horrible. But the joyful part is that we're uniting and teaming up and inspiring each other to change that. So it's about enjoying the process of doing that as well, and upping our game collectively. Thank you.
Thank you. And I pass the word to Liliana for the practice.
Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, a very happy International Day of joy and happiness, and we're here together. And thank you for engaging with me in this practice called laughter yoga, which I discovered already 18 years ago. And who would have thunk that this practice would have come into service again and again and again, especially when life throws us challenges? And can we remain joyful through those challenges? I say an unequivocal yes. I recently got thrown a challenge right now, a few months ago, where I was diagnosed with cancer. And you know what? Hard, tough, yes, of course, scary and fearful. And there was the whole, emotion of it. But you know what? I can't tell you how the practice of joyfulness and laughter has helped, is helping, and will help. Oh, and I'm just loving it. So with that, I am so happy to be here with you to invite you in this practice called laughter yoga. So in laughter yoga, if you've never heard or know what it's about, it's an exercise where we laugh for no reason, meaning that there's no jokes or humor involved. So the laughter is simulated. We fake the laughter, which is okay, because as we fake the laughter, we're activating the physical, right? We're going to activate the brain, the heart, the gut. I'll show you how very soon. There's also a chemical activation because as you laugh, you also help release what's known as feel-good hormones, such as dopamine, endorphin, serotonin. So after engaging in the practice, about 15, 20 minutes of laughter, at the end, you may very well feel more relaxed. And finally, we activate the emotion. So I ask my students, what emotion do you associate with laughter? And often, sure, it's about happiness and joyfulness. And yes, we could do this practice even when we have no reason to laugh or we're not necessarily in the mood to laugh. And that's where it gets a little bit harder, but it's an exercise. And just like every exercise, there's a resistance that comes with it. So you practice lifting the weights to make the muscles stronger. We're going to practice the laughter to strengthen our body, our minds, and our souls, just like what food does to us when we eat good food. So I'm going to invite you right now. We're going to stimulate our pressure points, and you're going to take your hands, open them wide, and just clap. Because you know what I love to do? I love to sing and I love to dance. But here's the song and dance and laughter yoga. We go with a beat. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to add ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. And we're going to end with a cheer. We're going to cheer the most important person on the planet, you. Very good, very good. Yay! Very good, very good. Yay! Very good, very good. Yay! You're amazing. We're amazing. All right. So now I'm going to invite you to engage in an exercise two exercises where it's all about clearing the brain. And with these exercises, I like for us to incorporate the intention of clarity and bridge it with the elevated emotion of curiosity. Because when our minds are clear of stress and all low frequency emotions like anger and sadness and frustration, it clears the mind. So these exercises, now laughter yoga is all about imagination and play. So let's imagine that we have a zipper right here at our foreheads. We're going to unzip as such. That's it. Do it with me. Unzip. Now we're going to crack open the skull. Oh yeah, minor surgery. Remove the brain from the skull. And here's your brain, the beautiful, beautiful brain in the palm of your hand. You're going to take a brush. You're going to clean. You're going to wash your brain. And as you wash, I want you to take an inhale, but exhale with the sound of ha, like this. One more time. Wonderful. The brain has now been washed. Let's put it back. Here we go. Close the skull and zip it back. All right. That is called the brainwash laugh. Now let's do one more to really clear the brain, and we'll do the mental floss. So we're going to imagine we have this mental floss. Grab a long piece, wrap it over your head. Yeah, okay, get it in the nooks and cranny of your brain, and back and forth and back and forth. We're going to floss the brain. Take a deep breath and exhale, and give me a nice loud woo, very good. Now, some of you, most of you, like me, when I first started this practice, it felt weird. It was awkward. Like, what is this? Laughter for no reason. But you know what? Just like exercise, where in the beginning it feels a little strange, as you practice more and more, it gets easier and it really helps the system. Okay. Take a deep breath in and exhale. All right, now remember the ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Let's do that 3 times. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Put a big smile on your face. And we're going to end with cheering the most important person on the planet. 3. Very good, very good. Yay. Here we go. Let's do it. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Ho, ho, ha, ha, ha. Very good, very good. Yay! Very good, very good. Yay! Very good. Very good. Yay! You're amazing. We're amazing. Fantastic. All right, so we got the brain. Lovely. Let's proceed with the heart. So we're going to do 2 laughter exercises that kind of helps to heal the heart. And like I said, this is an exercise. As we're laughing, we're actually increasing blood flow in the system. So I'm going to invite you to do a 50-meter laughter dash with me. So for 30 full seconds, we're going to laugh and laugh and laugh. And as you're laughing, the other thing you're helping is to really rid the lungs of all the stale air because it's more focused on the exhale versus the inhale. So the 50-meter dash, I got my stopwatch right here, 30 seconds, and go. Woo! Now, woo, if you really forced yourself to engage in laughter, what may just have happened is the simulated laughter may have turned into real laughter. I love it, can't stop. And that's what's beautiful. And you just increased your blood flow, so your faces are more red, more joyous, and more beautiful. Ah, that was the 50-meter dash laugh. All right. So we're going to take a deep breath. Now, the next laughter exercise to help to heal the beautiful heart is we're going to do a show me your heart laugh. So we're going to take a deep breath. As you take a deep breath, you're going to kind of raise your arms and spread them wide as they can go. And then as we bring our hands together, you're going to show me your heart. And of course, we're going to laugh as we do this. Okay, here we go. Inhale. Open your arms wide, wide, wide. Stretch, 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 and laugh and show me your heart. Inhale. Open your arms nice and wide. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Inhale and exhale with the sound of ha and show me your heart. And one last time. Inhale, stretch, stretch, stretch. Bring it together and show me your heart. Very good. Now, the intention of this exercise is, of course, about our health and the elevated emotion when we are in good health and we practice good, healthy habits. It helps to be more grateful. So the elevated emotion is about gratitude. Ooh, and every single day. So this demands work, but doing this daily really helps to be able to live joyously regardless of circumstances. All right. Now, of course, the premise today is about food, and what a beautiful, beautiful presentation Maya gave about how frequency, vibration impacts our food. So when we are cooking and we're angry, that's not so good because that's a low vibration frequency. If we're cooking with love and happiness and joy and gratitude, well, of course, our food will taste so much better and feeds us so much better as well. Okay, so the intention here is going to be about cultivating childlike playfulness. And that's what laughter yoga is. It reconnects us to being childish, right? So by being childish, we're turning back the clock. And I mean, think back when you were 3, 4, 5 years old, when ego and inhibitions, right? Out the door, that just didn't happen. And if you wanted to start laughing and dancing and playing and imagining and all that fun stuff, we did it freely. We weren't worried about what people would think about us. And then, of course, 7, 8, 9 years old comes around, school starts, and then in teens, and oh my, and now here we are as adults, and we're very conscious about how we appear to others. Now, of course, laughter yoga is something I always say, this laughter, this fake laughter, this exercise is done in context. We're together here and we know we're going to be engaging in this simulated laughter. I don't encourage just suddenly bursting out into laughter, maybe in a meeting or waiting for the bus or when it's not appropriate. That's not good to do. But of course, when you're in your homes and you happen to be alone and you're cleaning the house, you're vacuuming or fixing your bed, great opportunity to take a deep breath and exhale with that loud laughter, that dynamic breathing, right? To help to clear the mind, clear the heart, clear the lungs. And of course, our gut health. So one of the things that was activated while you were especially engaged in that 50-meter dash, you may have felt it, but your abdominal muscles were very contracted at that moment. So you know what? That 30 seconds laughter, you gave yourself about 50 good sit-ups. There you go. So if you do that just every single day, you're giving your abs a good workout. All right, so now the gut. We're going to be childlike as the intention with the elevated emotion of joy. Right, so the laughter exercise I have for us right now is called the frullate di gioia laugh. Okay, so we're going to imagine that we have 2 glasses right here in our hands, and these beautiful healthy drinks that are right here in our glasses, we're going to mix them up. And as we mix them, we're going to add the sound of eh, and then mix it back, eh, and then one more time, eh. Now swig, and chug-a-lug and laugh. Here we go. Beautiful. Okay. One is never enough. Let's do it again. Eh, eh, eh. Ah! And a third one for good luck. Eh, eh, eh. Salud. Cheers. Beautiful. Oh, excellent. Okay. And after that good, healthy drink, that appetizer, we are hungry. Manja, manja. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do a stir and sip laugh. Here we go. We stir the pot of soup. Take our bowl of soup, take your spoon, sip. Oh, buon appetito. Good. Okay. Let's go back to the ho ho ha 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 with the very good yay. Here we go. Ho ho ha ha ha. Ho ho ha ha ha. Ho ho ha ha ha. Very good. Very good. Yay. Very good. Very good. Yay. One last time. Very good. Very good. Yay! So what happens now, right? As we engage in this high frequency energy exercise called laughter yoga, we build coherence. And that coherence is between the brain, the heart, and the gut. Everything is working, everything is harmonized. And this vibration is very fluid around us. So here's something that I'd like to try with you. Of course, everybody is on mute right now, but very soon I'm going to ask everybody to unmute. And this is something that it's difficult to experience in our own environments, but oh, ladies and gentlemen, when I'm in a room with people and we do this together and I hear the laughter, you have no idea how magical that is. So we're going to do the brain, heart, gut coherence laugh. And I want you to imagine we're going to take this big carpet and we're going to wave it. And as the carpet waves, right, we're going to take a deep breath. We're going to exhale and wave the carpet. And I want you to imagine how the carpet is waving all throughout the world. And this is us sending this energy of laughter to everybody in this room and everybody outside of this room, okay? And before we begin, if everybody could unmute themselves, so as we laugh, we're going to hear the chaotic sound of laughter. I'm actually going to mute my laughter so I can hear your laughter, and try to be as loud as you can. All right. So everybody unmute, or I don't know if it's Noemi that you have the power to unmute everybody. All right. Okay. So take that carpet. We're going to send that energy out to the world. Raise your arms, take a deep breath, wave the carpet. Oh, that was beautiful.
Lovely.
Oh, it just warmed my heart.
I was really laughing also, but
oh, love it. Oh, thank you for that. Before we end, of course, the very important I am statements, right? So I'd like you to take a deep breath. We're going to do 3. Inhale, raise your arms to the heavens, and exhale. But on the inhale, I want you to inhale, I am healthy. I am healthy, and say that and believe it. And exhale, I am strong. Inhale, I am healthy. Hold it, hold it, hold it. And exhale, I am strong. One more time. Inhale, I am healthy. Hold it, hold it, hold it. I am strong. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, this is the practice of laughter yoga, where we raise our energy with the intention and heightened emotion. And the challenge that I have for you is to sustain it for the rest of the day and think back to what we did today. And laughter yoga right now is growing and growing and growing. I discovered laughter yoga 18 years ago. Laughter yoga started in 1995. The founder, Dr. Madan Kataria, and his wife, who practices yoga, Madhuri, they are the founders of laughter yoga that started in 1995. This is growing throughout the world. I have the honor of certifying people who want to become laughter yoga instructors. I have an online laughter yoga 2-day training. It's 12 intensive hours of this practice and teaching people how they can teach laughter yoga in their community. So all that information is on my website that you can find. And I always say, laugh bold, laugh strong, laugh more. So we build our bridges to better health and happiness. And thank you so much for having me. Mwah, I love you.
Thank you very much, Lydia. That's amazing. And maybe we can just open the floor to everyone that want to share, you know, the experience and give their feedback. And yeah, over to you. So whatever comes to your mind. Don't be shy.
Questions, especially how did you feel? How, you know, and it's okay to say, yeah, the practice was a little weird for me, or just anything. All comments are very, very, you know, there's no right or wrong.
Well, sorry, you can go, Vim. Okay, so I just want to say I'm grateful. I was with low energy. I was really not sure. I said, okay, there is this COFSA meeting, let's do it. And I feel alive, which is quite a big accomplishment, achievement when it's online. I feel more alive through an online meeting. So I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, VM, you can share. We cannot hear.
Okay, thank you so much, Liliane. For me, thank you, Naomi. It was a lovely one. It was a lovely experience. And it feels like I know how breathing is very important in our intense life, but the fact that how you synchronize it with our everyday gestures and for what we're doing in cooking and things, I really found it very authentic and very lovely. I like it the way how we matched. There was a match. There was a match between a serious one on the food systems and thing, and with our releasing, with our mental health, with our feeling in our skin, how to say it. And yeah, it's so genuine, and I'm really surprised, and I really like it. Thank you so much for this beautiful session.
Thank you.
Yes, Warity.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to thank you, Mahini and Liliana. It was just wonderful. And it's so good to remember how contagious is laughing. And it's so easy, it's at our hands. And sometimes we want to inspire people by using our brain and sometimes our emotions to that laughing and joy are the path, are the right path. So thank you so much to remind me that.
Thank you.
Thank you. And it's incredible because we are all online, but still able to connect deeply. So I'm very grateful for that. And Liliana, we have a more technical question in the chat for you from Hiba.
Yes.
So she's
curious how much forceful exhaling as breathing technique plays a role in the effect. So yeah, so basically the forceful, the dynamic breathing. So you take a deep breath in, but as you exhale, the exhale is much longer. So you really help to empty the lungs of the stale air that sometimes sits beneath and allows more and more oxygen to enter. So that's what kind of fuels the body. And as we breathe better, we're helping to, you know, really feed the cells in our system. One of the things that I'm seeing is, you know, developing cancer. In my case, it's breast cancer. It's cells. It's a negative cell that starts mutating exponentially. So by laughing, what I'm seeing is the treatment that I have to get is really targeting the mass, which has shrunk exponentially. In the last 3 months, I've gotten the treatment. I got 2 more months to go. And what I'm hoping is as I practice the laughter, the better healthy eating, I've eliminated all alcohol from my diet. I used to like to drink some wine. I don't anymore. And meditation, of course, is another huge factor. How to really replenish my healthy cells, weaken the negative cells, and hopefully when the surgery time comes, it's going to be very minor surgery. So right now I'm in this experiment to see how I can incorporate all these practices and see what happens when June comes around. That's when I'm going to get my scans, and we'll see what the mass looks like at that point. So really dynamic breathing, emptying our lungs of that stale air to help feed the entire body and the cells in our system, so we live healthier lives.
Thank you, Liliana, for sharing. And anyone else want to share last words? Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, thank you all so much. And thank you, Liliana, for giving so much. And I thank you for also creating a space where we can share our laughter with you. And we wish you, of course, all the best. And yeah, I just, I know Noemi, you'll do some announcement, but one of the themes, our next meeting will be around farmers' mental health. And I really see a clear connection, there's many levels of how we can help cultivate joy in farming. So just wanted to make that link, and thank you, Noemi, for putting together yet again another amazing session. I wouldn't have thought about this. Yeah, thank you.
So yes, once again, thank you to Liliana and Mahia for offering this wonderful session, and thank you for everyone for participating, but also to stay engaged and really actively participate in all this throughout the session. So it's been very fun, wonderful, and uplifting. I agree. I just leave in the chat the link to register for the next session on farmers' well-being and psychological resilience, which is on March 27th. So if you want to join, we will talk about, how to integrate more farmers' well-being and mental health into agro-investment projects, and also explore different other topics like holistic farming practices. So you're welcome to join. And thanks again. Wish you a wonderful day. And I hope you can bring this practice into your life and nourish your life. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Bye, thank you.
Great start today.
It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.